What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Creative Hunter podcast. This is your host, as always, Logan Romney, and thanks for hopping on today. Today we have an awesome guest. It's Sean Storms. He works over at Weatherby. He started over there working, building ammunition there, and then now he actually works in the customer service there. So he knows a bunch about rifles, about ammunition, about all that stuff. And I've known him for a few years. We just been buddies. We met here in Idaho, and then he moved out there to Wyoming and is working at Weatherby. So it's a good podcast, especially if you want to kind of hear about the Weatherby's process on making ammunition and kind of how they do it. It's pretty cool. A couple housekeeping things. We just got back from the Western Hunt Expo last weekend, and it was great. We had a little booth set up with Hardside Hydration. I had a table with a bunch of Bino visors. We sold a good handful of them. I still have a bunch in stock. So if you want one of those, you can actually use the code podcast15 at checkout, and you'll save 15% on a visor or a hoodie over on our website. I actually have a few hoodies left too. I got medium and larges on my website, but if you want different sizes, there's some different sizes over at Topographics, and he's got a sweet website with a bunch of graphics. He's the one that did all the graphics for my hoodies. So check out the CreativeHunterMedia.com, my website. Check out the Bino visor. If you don't have one yet, go grab one. And then if you want to get a hoodie, grab a hoodie on there. Use the discount code podcast15. Save yourself some money. And it helps support me, helps support the podcast, YouTube channel, all of it. So thanks you guys for listening. Let's get into this episode. We'll see ya. Talk about what you do over there at Weatherby, because I don't really know what you do. I mean, you do stuff with ammunition, right?
Yeah, so I used to. So I started out the very beginning of last year. I started out as the ammo supervisor, and just making sure all the operations are running smoothly, and I'll partake in some of the loading and the priming and packaging and stuff like that. Back in November, I took a job as a customer service rep. Just because I felt like I was kind of limited in the knowledge that I could obtain in the ammo department. And I wanted to broaden my scope and gain as much knowledge as I could so I could be as much of an asset to Weatherby as I could.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Well, let's just keep talking about it then, and we'll just kind of move this into the podcast.
Yeah.
How's that been for you? Have you enjoyed it over there?
I love it. So we're both from southeastern Idaho, and
Yep.
if you know anything about southeastern Idaho, it's a lot of small towns, and that's how I grew up, and I loved it. I got out of active duty military in 2021, came back to Idaho Falls, and Idaho Falls just exploded. I mean, there were so many people from all over moving in, and it got to the point where it was just, rush hour was super busy. The price to live on your own was insane. I couldn't afford a house out there. So I slowly worked my way to figure out how I could move and still do something that I really, really liked and had a passion for, and kind of applied to Weatherby on a whim. And actually I applied for a role that I didn't even get. The HR department called me up and they said, "Hey, you applied for this role, but we think you'd be a really good fit for, customer service role." So that was back in 2023. And I was still working at my old job in Idaho Falls, and I had some prior obligations that I couldn't leave at the time, and they wanted me to move out there in like 2 or 3 weeks. And I said, "No, I can't do it." And so I was able to, hopefully, at least on my end, keep a really healthy relationship. I thought everybody during the first initial process was super, super nice. And I was really looking forward to trying to apply for another role, and the ammo lead came up, and I applied for it, and a lot of the same faces were in the interview process. So that kind of helped a little bit. I guess they liked me enough to move me out here. So yeah, nice. I bought a house last February, and we've been slowly renovating that. It's been a process. It's been hectic, chaotic. It's like drinking from a fire hose, but that's how I like to live my life.
Yeah, that's good, dude. I mean, out of all the rifle places to work, that's probably the one that I would like. That's probably the top of my list, just from what I know about them. You know.
There's so much history in this place. I mean, if you ever walk into
Yeah.
our showroom, there's stuff from the 50s, 60s. I mean, the dude that works the front counter, Corey, he knows more information I think Weatherby. So that's another thing too. You know, I walked into the ammo role with a little bit of reloading information, and you know, you think you know something, but you don't. I just go throughout my day with the mantra that I don't know anything until I'm taught it, or I go seek out that information myself.
Yeah. How much did you know about ammo and reloading before taking that job?
Well, I reloaded for the last couple of years before I took that job, and I was familiar with a lot of the verbiage, but like the nitty gritty details about uh, pressure and ballistic coefficients, and you know, I knew what a cantilever was, but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it was for. They there was a world of information that I was able to gather with the rest of the ammo department and the ballisticians that we'd work with. You know, whenever we'd start a skew for say 300 Weatherby or something like that, load a bullet in that. Every so often, we'd send rounds down to the range so the ballisticians can shoot and make sure that the pressure and velocity the entirety of the run, and they come back with test data, and I just drill them with questions to the point where they got annoyed with me.
Yeah, that's cool. So there's a sounds like there's a little bit of trial and error. I mean, you guys have stuff kind of dialed in, but you're still testing stuff, which
Yeah, we're
sounds
always testing new stuff every day. We'll get
yeah.
new bullets that the ballisticians want to try out. You know, different rifles, shotguns, whatever it might be. I mean, we're always testing and trying to push the limits.
Nice. That's cool. So explain to me well, first of all, what if someone's like buying bullets from you, what's that what's the branding on that? Because it's Weatherby, it's behind Weatherby, right? But what are they called?
Yeah, so it's going to be Weatherby loaded ammunition.
Okay.
We don't load every cartridge under the sun. We
Right.
have specific Weatherby design cartridges, and then there's also some common ones. Like you've got an Alpine CT with the 7 PRC. So we
Yep.
load 7 PRC, we load 6.5 PRC, 300 PRC. We also do 28 Nosler, 280 Ackley.
I'm curious if you know that any like rough numbers off your head, like how much ammo are you guys making on a daily?
That depends on the caliber. Some are a little bit more finicky than others, but we can make, you know, 20 to 40,000 rounds a day. I mean, it's a small crew. It's nothing huge. We have 3 loading machines, two, um, two guys that load every day. So we don't have like an entire factory set aside for loading.
Yeah.
It's kind of what sets us apart from other manufacturers. Is we don't load like millions of rounds at a time. We'll load anywhere from 5 to 200,000 in some cases. With like the last year, we loaded like 250,000 rounds of 6.5 300 and like 3 different bullets, and that was a week. That was a week right
Wow.
there, a couple weeks actually.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
the smaller batches could give us the opportunity to really, fine tune a lot of the things that we want to do. So if things aren't looking right when the ballisticians get back to us and say, hey, your velocity is a little high, you might want to check the powder or something like that. We can always fine tune it in the middle, and if something's getting thrown off, we can always stop and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. That's cool, dude. So you were saying you started out there as like the head ammunition, and then what and then you got to do a new role, right?
Yeah, I got into customer service. I
Oh,
thought
okay, that's right.
I thought that I was really limited with a lot of the experience that I could gain there, so I moved into the customer service role, and we have to learn a little bit about everything there because we have to be able to speak to everything when we talk to customers.
Yeah. So what's kind of the day in your life? You just answering phone calls, emails, stuff like that?
Yeah, emails, phone calls. It can range from technical stuff like disassembly, cleaning,
Yeah.
having issues with my shotgun not cycling. Let's go through some troubleshooting processes. Oh, I want it, and it can also be something like, hey, I've got an older rifle that isn't threaded, doesn't have a break. Can you guys perform that service for us? And so we can do that. We'll have them ship their rifle in, and we'll take care of
Nice.
that for them.
That's cool. So yeah, so you have to know a bunch of stuff about kind of everything for that one.
Yeah, there's a few guys in the customer service department that have been there for I think 2+ years, and they're like, I still don't know everything. So
Yeah.
I never feel bad about myself.
Yeah. That's fun. Cool, dude. Um, okay, let's kind of transition. Let's talk about your military service and um just kind of your story going like just throughout all that and then transitioning that into where you're at now.
Yeah, so in 2016, I enlisted into the Air Force. Um, Spent all that time down in Texas, and I had a real culture down there where there were a lot of people that I felt connected with um, in some ways that you couldn't find anywhere else. And when I came back, I learned that the hunting world really has a lot of those same parallels. So the logistics of planning a mission versus the logistics of planning a hunting trip, knowing where you want to go, going and doing e-scouting versus going to do recon or something like that. There's a ton of parallels, and the mission in hunting is to take an animal, right? Well, it's the same. You're following those same paths, same parallels, and trying to achieve that goal. And it kind of offered a lot of, I would say, therapy, but it's something that really puts my mind at ease when I'm able to be surrounded by a lot of like-minded people that are goal oriented in that same fashion, that want to do those things that I like to do, and push themselves and try and be successful.
What made you want to join the Air Force?
Um, a little bit of it was I didn't want to go to college, and I didn't have the mental fortitude to do that at the time. I didn't really care about school my senior year, and couldn't really afford it. So, and my grandpa was in the Air Force. I have a lot of relatives that were in the military, so I figured that would probably be the next step for me. My parents said, okay, whatever you do, just don't go into the Army or the Marines, because they didn't want me to go into combat. Little did they know I found a combat job in the Air Force, so that really broke their hearts. But I think it was the best thing for me. It taught me a lot of discipline. It taught me a lot of maturity, and how to take care of myself. I was on my own for the first year I was away, so it taught me a lot. I'm I'm kind of thankful for it, but at the same time, I'm glad that my path ended up where it is.
Yeah, that's good. There's something to be said about going off and doing something hard like that and just like learning as when you like right out of high school age. Like it's so good to get out and do something outside your comfort zone and be around people who are doing the same thing. Like
Yeah,
I kind of did similar things and just went out and pushed myself, and sometimes it sucked and sometimes it was like awesome, but you learn so much from those experiences, and it's like you're probably the same way. It's like I would never give up anything for just what I learned during that time.
yeah, and you find out a lot about yourself in those kind of situations too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of part of the reason why the the people aspect of it, the culture, was where it really drew me back to the hunting industry. Is because, you know, typically if you have people to go hunt with, those people are probably very like minded, and you're typically going to enjoy a lot of the hunting experiences you have with them, and those shared, I guess you could call it trauma bonding, depending on how difficult of a task it is to go hunting. It kind of brings you a lot closer. So like for me, I really like hunting with one other person, because I like that shared experience. I like that bond and that connection. Um, so it's, I mean, I'm still learning a lot. I by no means the greatest hunter at all.
Yeah. Have you did you grow up hunting and everything?
Yeah, for me it was typically like 1 or 2 weekends a month going out deer hunting with my dad and
Okay.
my grandpa. It
Yeah.
wasn't anything like backpack hunting, putting up a wall tent or anything like that. It was, hey, we're gonna go drive up here. If we don't see anything, we'll just head back midday.
Right. Yeah. Did you? How has your hunting strategies changed now versus when you were growing up?
The patience aspect probably, which I'm still learning that as well. But a lot of it was hike up a ridge, glass for 10 minutes. If you don't see anything, come back, move on. One thing I've learned is especially if you do a lot of research, you know what kind of habitat, what kind of area, whatever game you're hunting likes to live in. Um, you have a lot more confidence going into that area, knowing that okay, I might not see him right now, but I'll probably see him, by the time last light hits or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, just like you're saying, people who like get up on the glassing knob for 10 minutes, like you might get lucky every once in a while, but you don't see everything that's there.
No.
And you got to spend the time there. Sometimes it takes like a day or two to see something, you
Yeah,
know?
and
So,
sometimes I don't have that kind of patience. Again, I'm still learning, so I might be like, man, I don't see anything. Doesn't mean that there's nothing there.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, how was your season this last year?
Well, I wasn't really. I was kind of in limbo because
Okay.
I got to Sheridan beginning of last year, switched over my driver's license, and I technically wasn't a resident of Idaho. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to go back to Idaho and hunt, anyways.
Yeah.
Um, I got one tag, out of state tag for Colorado, just because me and a
Nice.
few buddies from Texas that I used to be in the military with, um, we went 2 years ago, so we decided to. It was they had a lot of great success, so it's like, you know what, maybe I'll throw my name in the pot, buy a tag, and it had all the makings of a great. It was the first rifle season for elk. Um, Great weather. We the first 2 days we were there, we saw a lot of elk, um, and then for the first day came and it was just dead.
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah. What was it? So it was rifle tag. Was it like October?
yeah. It was it's like October 12th through the 16th or something like that.
Gotcha. They just kind of like finished up right as that rifle season started, huh?
Yeah, it's almost like they know, and it
They
doesn't
know.
help that
Yeah.
the ridge that we were spotting them on every morning and every night. Two out of staters decided to camp right at the bottom of that river,
Oh,
that basin. So during the day, all their scent just went up into that area, and by the time the first day came around, they were gone.
yeah. That's tough. That's tough. So do you have any plans for this next season? Like you're a Wyoming resident now, so you can get some decent
Yeah,
tags.
yeah, I'm excited. One thing I learned about Wyoming versus Idaho was the amount of opportunity that we have out here. Um,
Yeah.
that comes with a little bit more complication because I don't understand the tag system at all still in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different types of tags. There's like 9 different types of tags for elk, deer, and antelope, and just trying to navigate that and figuring out what weapon you can use, what season dates there are, the limitations on the borders and stuff like that. It can get confusing, but I've got a lot of people here to help me out with that. So I'll
Nice.
hopefully have a pocket full of tags come this next
Good.
season.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That'll be really good. I'm excited to see how you do, and I know Kobe's gonna be out a bunch too. Kobe got an Idaho tag this year too, so me and him are gonna go out,
I heard you guys are
try
going
it
to be hunting
out.
right on the Idaho Montana border.
Yeah, kind
I
of in
know
that
exactly
area.
where you guys are going. I hunted there a few years ago.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah, it's a good spot. We're gonna try it out. I haven't really been up there a ton, so it'll be kind of a new spot, but it's a cool country, so we'll see
Are
how it
you archery
goes.
hunting?
Yeah.
Bring a
Yep.
pistol. Bring a pistol.
Oh, for sure. Anywhere in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary. I went there back in 2023 for it was actually we rented llamas through what's that area?
Is it Bo Beatty?
Yeah, Bo Beatty. We
Yeah.
rented llamas
Nice.
from him, and we went up for like 6 or 7 days. And
Nice.
I've never heard more elk bugles in my entire life. I think in
Yeah.
those 6 or 7 days I counted like 500 elk bugles. It was insane. But we also
Wow.
saw an insane amount of grizzly too,
Yeah.
which was not easy for me to sleep at night.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be careful for sure. Keep our eyes out. Um, I haven't seen a ton up there, and I've been up there a few times. But it just kind of depends on where you're at too, what part of the unit and border you're on. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be some good hunting. And Kobe will have a Montana tag and an Idaho tag, so we can hunt both sides.
Yeah, I think
So
you guys are at least going to run into some for sure.
definitely, we'll find something. We'll get some stocks in. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be fun.
After that
Yeah,
antelope hunt that he had last year, he's going to hate me
I
for
know.
talking crap on him, but I love him. He I don't know how many stalks he had on antelope, but
Yeah, that's tough though.
that man tried. I'll give him that. He tried.
Yeah, antelope's hard. I hunted antelope with my bow this year too, and just kept striking out. But it just leads up to eventually something works out. So I'm sure
Just
that
like
he'll
you were
get it
saying
done soon.
earlier, like you keep learning, even if it's a failure,
Yeah,
you're still learning.
absolutely. Yeah. Do you do any spring bear hunting?
I am slowly getting over my fear of ticks, but yes,
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
getting there.
freaking nasty.
I don't know how much bear hunting I'll be doing around here because the tags are so limited in the bighorns. It's
Oh, okay.
I don't the people will bring a tag or buy a tag and then they'll schedule a date that they're going to go, and then if that's in the middle of the hunting season, there's only so many bears allotted in that unit, and they could fill up, and then their
Oh,
hunting season's over at that point.
interesting. Yeah, I don't know how. So there's like a quota per unit over
Yeah,
there. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Um. Well, what's nice too is as a non-resident, you can get an Idaho bear tag for pretty cheap. It's actually not that bad.
yeah, that's true.
Um.
If you're an Idaho resident and you go into certain units, you can get 2 tags.
Yeah, it's true. I do it. I've shot 2 bears in the same week before.
I know, I saw that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that's fun. And you could do that as a non-resident too, I think. You can get 2 tags. But anyways, then there's a lot of in Montana has over-the-counter tags too, and I'm sure like Colorado does. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Oh yeah,
But
they've got I've seen some of the biggest black bears I've ever seen in my entire life in Colorado during the
yeah,
fall when we're hunting.
dang,
Just
that's crazy.
absolute units.
Yeah,
They're huge.
that's cool.
Packing up.
Yeah. So yeah, dude. So that'll be good. So you'll have some good tags this year. Um, so you working at Weatherby, what's like what's your rifle setup? What's kind of your I mean, I guess what's your rifle setup, and is that your like is that your go-to setup? Is that what you would use most of the time?
How so? The one rifle I have from Weatherby, it's a Mark V High Country, and
Okay,
it's delivered
nice.
in 300 Weatherby. And
Nice.
I really like the carbon fiber stocks. I think they're fantastic, and I really wanted one of the the legacy calibers from Weatherby, so I picked the 300 because I didn't have a 30 caliber rifle at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. It packs a punch, and that thing is a tack driver.
Yeah, I
I don't know
bet.
if I take it on every hunt, but I've got some after learning over the course of like 14 months. I kind of figured out what rifle I want. That's going to be my all around go to rifle. But I don't have it yet. I gotta buy it first.
Yeah, let's hear it. What is it?
Um, I really like the Backcountry, either the Backcountry Carbon 2.0 or the Guide. I really
Yeah,
like the ability to use those flush cup adapters on a tripod or a bipod.
right. With Spartan, right?
Yeah, yeah, super
Nice.
cool. We've got one in the showroom with one of those adapters on our Teton tripod, um,
Yeah.
and that thing it's sturdy. I'd shoot off of it in any position. It is fantastic, and the caliber of choice would be a 280 Ackley. Um, I've
Okay.
got a few 7 mil rifles in my inventory already, um, and I feel like that one's just for what it offers. I think it has a wide range of ability to take any animal you want in North America.
Yeah.
And I really like
Nice.
it too because that the 280 Ackley in the guide I think is 22-inch long carbon fiber barrel, and so if you want to put a suppressor on it, it's not going to be like 30 inches after you put that suppressor on. It's going to be still pretty stout, pretty short.
Yeah. Do you have a suppressor for your 300?
Yeah, I do. I've got one from somewhere around here. I'm sitting at my study slash reloading desk right now. I've
Nice.
got all my reloading stuff behind the camera. Um, I've got a Dead Air Sandman L, and
Okay.
it's a big guy. I think it's like 8 or 9 inches long. Definitely not something you want to put on a 26-inch barrel, but it's it makes the recoil go down quite a bit, and it is very very quiet.
That's cool. That's cool. I want to get one eventually.
Yeah,
They're expensive.
they are expensive.
Expensive to get.
Yeah, but
But
they're a lot faster than they used to be at getting the turnaround time with the ATF.
yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard it's way faster. Someday I'll get one. Throw it on there. Throw it on there. But yeah, I like that 7 PRC. That's probably one of the most popular ones. Is there what else is like super popular there from Weatherby?
Ever since that seven backcountry hit, people have been getting those like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 PRC is probably one of the most popular chamberings right now, just because it's so easy to get off the shelf. Everybody has 7 PRC ammo readily available, so it's a lot easier
Yeah.
to get.
Nice. Yeah. I love it. It's a little expensive to shoot though, I feel like, compared to some.
Yeah,
But I mean maybe not with this economy right now and everything. It's maybe pretty reasonable, but it's like $55 for a box for
yeah.
what I'm shooting.
Hey, you know what? Just consider yourself lucky because I have gone down the road of reloading and I don't really want to go back. And I went to Billings last week and I was able to pick up primers for the first time in I don't know how long, and because primers are super hard to find in the reloading world, so I
Yeah.
bought like 2,000 of them for what
Wow.
I would consider a pretty good price. So I'm happy about that. I'll be set
Nice.
for a little while.
Good. That's cool. Um, you mentioned talking about ballistics. We could kind of finish up with that and just, yeah, I don't know what you wanted to cover on that, but I think that's a good thing to cover while we're on
Yeah,
here.
I don't know. I guess it kind of stems from uh, people thinking that if you're not going with the biggest caliber possible, you're wrong. And I've seen it personally. I've seen it from secondhand from other people. Um, that's just not true. It all comes down to velocity, energy, and what kind of bullet you're using. Because I have a
Mm-hmm.
friend at Weatherby who took I think it was one of our backcountry rifles. He went on a hunt. He's an older guy. He did a guided hunt uh, back in New Mexico or Arizona a few years ago, and he shot a 350, 360-inch bull from 500 yards with a 6.5 RPM.
Wow.
That thing went 5 yards and dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good bullet. It was a hammer bullet, which I can't speak highly enough of. Um, but it all comes down to those three things: velocity, energy, and what kind of bullet you're putting through that animal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of it too is just shot placement.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, yeah, that's probably the, I don't know, maybe not the biggest, but it's like, actually, it might be the biggest thing right with those three things you just mentioned because I mean if you don't have good shot placement and you can still have all three of those things you just mentioned, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I guess to yeah, I
But
agree with.
I know what you're saying.
But that's the human factor of it, if that
Right.
makes sense. Like
Yep.
I can have the best rifle, the best bullet, whatever it might be, but if I can't put it in the spot that I need to, then that's
Yeah.
on me. But in terms of the rifle performing and the ammo performing, that's what you need right there.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, I think that's true, and I don't think a lot of people really think about that or research it that much or know about it because I know I don't really know much about that, right? I mean, I just know I have my rifle and I shoot it and it shoots great and I kill stuff with it.
Yeah,
I don't really look at like ballistics and all that stuff. But would you recommend like trying to learn that stuff a bit more?
it depends on how detailed you want to be. I'm sure every manufacturer will say this, but we have an accuracy guarantee of sub MOA at 100 yards. Um,
Right.
it'll perform to that. The rifle will perform to that. And if you want to fine tune it a little bit more, there's tons of avenues, tons of rabbit holes that you can dive into to learn more. But it all depends on the application. Like if you're a PRS shooter and you want the most accuracy that you can get, if you want a 5-inch grouping at 1,000 yards, then yeah, you should probably reload. But if you're hunting 1 to 2 weeks a year for a couple different game, and you're only going to put maybe 25 rounds through the rifle a year, then I don't know. It's probably not something that you should dive into.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the details. I'm a detail guy. I like to analyze the data and figure out what's going on and try and make everything perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it's something I think about. I haven't dove into it yet, but I'm sure someday I will. Because I am kind of a detail guy too. I like getting into all the nitty gritty of stuff. So
Just be careful. Just be
I
careful.
know, right?
There's a lot of sources that you can find online that will give you non-biased, educated information, and then there's other people that'll tell you what they think you should do. Um,
Right.
sometimes it's a little gray to figure out which one's which, but I don't know. It all depends on how far you want to dive into it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Cool, dude. Well, I think we can wrap it up. Do you have anything else that you wanted to cover and talk about?
No, I kind of wanted to talk about you and your hunting season last year because you got Ellie on a bull, a big bull.
Yeah, she got a great bull. It was her first big game animal she's ever got. She drew a sweet tag, and it's a tag I've had in the past too, and I've killed deer and elk in the same unit, and so I already knew the area good. Um, so I knew we'd get something, and I was in there. I hunted that unit this last year during the archery season for deer and the rifle season for deer. So I was seeing elk everywhere. Like there's just tons of elk in this area, and there was one bull that I never saw him, but I got pictures from two different guys that were like, dude, this bull is like a giant, and it was like a 380 bull, like it was huge. And we tried to find him, but we never found him, which
Yeah,
is
those don't exist. Those they don't actually exist.
I know, right? Well, I mean, I would like they'd show me like videos, and I'm like, oh, I know like exactly where that video's taken, right? Like it's like I've hunted this area since I was like 10 years old, so I know the spots. And but yeah, that bull just disappeared. I don't know if he got killed in the archery season or if he just dipped country. He might have,
Yeah,
but
I
it was
mean,
okay. We weren't after
that
like
big and he's
something
that
like
old.
that. So
He's probably good at getting away from people.
oh yeah, I'm sure. So but we never found him. But it was okay. Hunted a few days and had a couple chances on some bulls, but just sometimes it just didn't work out. Did you watch the video about it? The
Yeah, I
film?
did. Yeah,
Yeah, like sometimes it's like there's the freaking bull, but there's like too many cows in front of him. We can't shoot him, you know?
first
And
world problem.
so yeah, I know. So but we finally got it done. So and that was cool. So that's our first elk. And then I killed my first deer and elk with a bow this year, which was fun.
I saw that. Yeah,
Um
I watched all those
yeah,
videos. I was waiting for him to come out. You had a heck of a
nice.
year.
It was fun. It was a good year, dude. Yeah. I'm excited for next year
Yeah,
already. So
I'm
gonna
gonna hit the
do
ground
some
running.
spring bear hunting and stuff,
Yeah,
but
probably not. I'll probably try and fill a turkey tag for the first
oh,
time
there you go.
in my life, and do
Nice.
a little bit of fishing with Kobe and the boys. And
Yeah,
you need to come out here.
I know. We've always talked about it. I do need to. I finished school in July, so that's the biggest thing is this time, you know. So once school's out, I'll probably have some time. If not this year, next year, I'll probably make it out a little bit. Just to come hang out. It'd be fun to
Yeah.
swing by.
See the
So
facility, hang out with us, see how beautiful
oh
it is
yeah,
out here. And that's the thing too is Idaho's gorgeous. There's no shortage of beautiful scenery when it comes to nature. Wet Wyoming in this area, it is absolutely gorgeous. The Bighorn Mountains. I mean, it's ugly. It's cold. Don't come here. It's Don't even
right.
go to
Same with
Idaho.
Idaho.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no animals here.
yeah. I don't know. There's no use in coming here. It's horrible.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool, dude. I love it. Well, dude, thanks for coming on the podcast. And that was last minute, but we made it happen.
Yeah, yeah. We
So
battled through some technical difficulties, but we got
we
it working.
did. We got it working. No, it's gonna be great. Yeah, it'll work good. So yeah, dude, stay on for a sec, but we'll finish up. And thanks everyone for listening. And thanks Sean for coming on.